So hello everyone, it is your girl Gel Beauty 87 here, aka Grace, and today we are going to get into ranking all my Alien Cosmetics palettes. So although I have not bought from this, although I haven't known about this brand that long, shout out to my girl Dr. Asher Makeup. If you all do not remember, I did a collab with her earlier this year about 5 brands I never thought I'd be checking for, and it was inspired by something Ashley said in one of her videos. I think she was like, if you had told me I'd be checking for BH Cosmetics in 2020, I'd tell you crazy or something like that. So that's what inspired that video, and she was gracious enough to collab with me in doing so. I felt it was only fair since it was her idea. But that video is usually the video that's linked at the top of the description box in all my videos. So that got me to try Alien Cosmetics because that was one of the brands that she never thought she'd be checking for. So without further ado, let me get into it. Now, one of these palettes I have not tried, so obviously it will be the one ranked at the bottom because I can't tell you about the quality of it because I haven't used it at all. But I was like, I already have like 3 other palettes that I have to do looks with today, so I was like, I can't, you know, very well try to use this one too. And although I could have filmed this tomorrow, I was like, well, I put off tomorrow, what you can do today. And it's not like the quality is bad, and it's not saying it's a bad palette, it's just more since I haven't used it, I can't be like it's so wonderful. Although it is one of the new formulated ones, so I figure it's probably just as good as the originals, if not a little bit better. But this is the Fairy Flawless palette, so this is number 9. Like I said, I have never used it, so I can't really speak on the quality of it just because I haven't used it. I have a look in mind for it that I was gonna do Tuesday, but I was like, I don't want to have to come out here just to rank all of these Tuesdays, so I was like, you know, I can't hold off too much longer before Alien comes out with 5 more palettes and I have to sit and wait 100 years. Like, I'm still waiting on my All I Ever Wanted palette to launch, ship, or whatever. It has not, so waiting on that. But anyway, this is number 9. As you can see, the color story is really nice. It has a nice little neutral section with like these tones right here, and then a pop of green, and then it has like more vibrant colors for people like me, like this dark matte green for you putting it out of it. That's what I always appreciate about Alien Cosmetics. They give you like these darker, grungier shades to use in your outer V, as opposed to just giving you shades like this in every single palette. So shout out to them for doing that, because Karen and I have been talking about that for a while, so we finally found a brand that gets it done. Thank you, Alien Cosmetics. But Fairy Frolic is number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Okay, so number 8 is the Bunnies palette from Alien Cosmetics. Now, I actually didn't plan on buying this one and the next one you're about to see, but they had like, I think a 40% off sale or something. This was like a $65 palette, or $62.50 I believe, and I ended up getting it for like, I think 30-something dollars. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out for 30-something dollars. The reason I didn't want to get it, it's one of those with like 2 different pan sizes, and I hate when they do that. I mean, like, I feel like, first of all, I feel like I would use more matte than I would shimmer, so that's why I didn't understand why the shimmers were the bigger ones and the mattes were the smaller ones. But, you know, I like the color story just fine. I just don't like the fact that these shimmers are so huge and these mattes are so small. I feel like it should have been reversed. But the palette works just fine. I used this shade, this shade, this shade, and I believe this shade, and I combined it with the palette you'll see next. But it performed just fine. It wasn't one I was looking to get. I just got to kind of like round off my collection because it was on sale type thing. But I don't regret having it at all. It's just at the lower end because since I didn't actually plan on buying it, I feel like it shouldn't be ranked higher. But it worked out fine, just like I expected it to. The next one is number 7, and that is the Capricorn palette. So they don't have this one anymore. I think this was a collab. Don't quote me though, because I'm not 100% sure, but this is what it looks like on the inside. The color story just didn't call to me when it came to this palette. Like, it worked out fine. Like, I think I used this red shade, and I'm trying to remember, did I use anything else in here? And then I used this corally hot pinkish looking shade right here. On camera it doesn't look hot pinkish in coral, but in real life it does. So I used that, and you know, this is what the palette looks like. I'm interested to use it some more. The quality of it was fine, just like I said, but because I wasn't expecting to pick up these 2, that's why they are lower down. The rest of them I planned on buying. I liked what I got, and I just ranked them according to how I like the color stories better than other ones. So from 6 on, those are the ones I actually meant to buy, liked, and was excited to add to my collection. So this was actually the first palette I saw from Alien Cosmetics that intrigued me. I think Angie had did it in one of her new makeup releases going on the wish list and all. And that's how I found out about the brand. And then Ashley was raving about him and showed that she had got the palette. And I was like, okay, now I need to get my hands on this palette. But this is the Alien Cosmetics Poison Apple palette. When I first saw it, I was like, yes. Now, I do not like the packaging on this one. And I saw them sneak peek that they were redoing the packaging, which I'm kind of excited about, because I might end up giving this to my friend Jackie and just getting the new one for myself, because I really don't like the packaging on this. Like, it's hard to show on camera, and then, like, it's just really foily. But this is a duochrome shade here I really like. This is a duochrome shade here I really like. This one is a duochrome, so a lot of them are like duochroming of shifting shades, if you will. And then you got your few mattes. So I like the color story of this. It's just I have color stories from them that I like a whole lot better, and palettes from them I whole like better, because this is like the older formula, whereas some of the other ones I've been showing you in the square pans are like the newer formula. So I'm hoping this one gets a new formula too. Not that the formula is bad, it's just since they're it seems like they're redoing their formulas, I'm hoping this is one that they redo as well. But it is a gorgeous palette. It's just I have Alien Cosmetics palettes I reached for more, and I feel like you all, just knowing my color preferences, should have an idea of what's going to be in the top like 3, if you will. But next we have, and this is my girl Karen Harris's favorite palette. So number 5 is Karen's favorite palette, which is the Lure palette. She says she likes the duochromes in here a lot. I don't think I use any of the duochromes in here, because I use this shade in the middle. Of course, y'all know this is the shade that's called me, so I use this one. I use this whole row basically, and I use the 2 oranges on the side of it, and then I use this shade right here. So I used a good majority of this palette recently when I did an eye look for you all on Instagram. I really like this palette. The funny thing is, I didn't buy this one when it first came out. When they had it out, I waited till they reformulated to buy it. I was going to get Fairy Flawless before they reformulated, but when I went to go buy my Adobe Jelly palette, it already sold out. So I ended up getting the reformulated version of it, along with the reformulated version of this one. I really like this palette. I like it more than I expected to. But I mean, like, I should have known Karen wasn't going to steer me wrong. So I'm glad I have it. But like I said, this shade right here is just a star of the show for me. Y'all know why it's like a green, blue, and purple is just my thing. But it performed really well. I like the new formula a lot, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. The next one I have is the, I'm wearing Alien Cosmetics on my eyes today. I probably should have said that. And that palette's coming up soon. This is the Alien Cosmetics Strawberry Milkshake palette. When I first saw this one, I was like, yes. I love when they have Serendipity do the art on their palettes. I think she does such a beautiful job, and I love the way it looks. I love this palette. Oh my goodness, y'all. Yes. To me, this is what a strawberry milkshake palette should look like. I feel like they nailed it right on the head with the tones of reds and pinks that they use, along with the greens for the stem that's connected to the strawberry, which I feel like a lot of brands wouldn't have. I feel like they just stuck with a whole bunch of different tones of pinks and reds. I appreciate them putting the pops of greens for the stem, because it's like the stem is attached to the strawberry, so maybe I should get some of those tones too. So shout out to Alien Cosmetics again for hooking that up. This was like another one I was really excited to get. So when I first bought mine, I bought this one, and then I bought the Poison Apple one I showed you, because I just live for Serendipity's artwork and the color stories that go along with the palettes that that they make. So this one is gorgeous. I can't wait to use it some more. But y'all know I got a million palettes, and since they keep launching palettes in addition to like all the other palettes that are launching, I have to like keep it moving. But I will be backtracking and thinking about doing a Throwback Thursday like series type thing on my Instagram, where I can use some of the older palettes that I like to use and wear those to work instead of always having to use the newest, latest thing. But the next one, number 3, is the Hauntingly Glamorous palette with Alien Cosmetics and Stacey Nicole Adams. That's what's on my eyes right now. I actually just got done filming a tutorial, and that's why I was like, I might as well just go ahead and film this now, and then I have to film my Cinderella and Sigma video. But look at this, y'all. It has so many cool grungy tones to it. Now, I wasn't sure I was going to like this palette, but I was like, I'll go ahead and take the chance just because it's Alien, and I love that they come up with such cool and weird, unique color stories. Again, she picked a lot of these grungy, darker mattes that I live for in the palette, so shout out to her, because yes, honey, I was living for it. I used a good majority of this palette on my eyes today, too. I think I only missed using like, I didn't use like 5 of the, I think it's 12 shades in here, so I feel like I still used a lot because that means I used 7 of these shades, but it was just so gorgeous and I wanted to do more looks, but I knew I didn't have the time, so I was like, let's prioritize and get our lives in order. But this is what it looks like and I am so glad I ended up getting it. I didn't get it on pre-order like Karen did, but I did get the palette and it did come in a timely fashion, so I was excited about that. Now, let's get into my top 2. I feel like it should be no surprise that this palette is higher up than all the other ones. And when you see the inside, I feel like we all know why. This is the Alien Cosmetics Not Normal palette. This is like one of my all-time favorite palettes from them. It is simply stunning. I am obsessed. Like, and y'all see why. Look at it. It has greens. It has purples. Like, it has lots of grunginess going on. I live for this palette. Now, I just ignore the shade right here, Basic. I ignore her. She doesn't exist. La, 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 la. But everything else is just, yes, it is so me. Like, these shifting shades. This brown right here. This weird, pukey, mustard-looking shade. And then you have the nice green matte. See, I can appreciate them because they always give you those dark, grungy mattes that you need. And I feel like this brand was just made for me to buy every palette that they come out with, because I can't get enough of this palette right here mainly. This one, Strawberry Milkshake. Surprisingly, the one that's on my eyes now, Hauntingly Glamorous, Lore, and the one I'm about to talk about that's number 1, which is the Don't Be Jelly palette, is it's just, look at these dual chromes. Like, I feel like they just go so well with so much stuff. Like, I feel like I compare this with every single one of their palettes and just use the dark grungy mattes, put this on the lid, and it will just turn the look into something more. Like, I like to use these as toppers on top of other shimmers in my collection. I feel like they don't do as great a job. I like to use this, like I said, with all my Alien Cosmetics palettes when I don't necessarily want to use the shimmers that's in there. Like, for example, the Strawberry Milkshake, I would take that dark green out of there, and then I would take this shade because it looks green on camera, but when I turn it this way, it has like a purplish bluish shift to it. And then I could put like this in the inner corner. It has a shift to it. So it's like this palette just, it's one of my all-time favorite all shimmer palettes just because it has mainly lots of dual chromes in it and whatnot. And I can't wait to get my hands on the All I Ever Wanted that Dr. Ash and her makeup loves so much, because I'm waiting for that one to show up. I don't think it's supposed to ship till, I think it was supposed to ship yesterday or something like that. I don't know. I know I got confirmation from Alien Cosmetics that the, sorry, not Alien, Adept Cosmetics, that they were shipping my Plain Jane Anniversary palette and the 2 shades I got for you all in the giveaway, which by the way is closed. I picked my 3 giveaway winners, but don't fret, there will be more giveaways to come. Y'all know I always do one on my birthday, and my birthday is next month. I am a Scorpio, just like Karen Harris and Casey Holmes' new babies will be. Shout out to them. So you will have a chance to win then, and then you'll have a chance to win in December, because I always do one for Christmas as a thank you for you dealing with me all year long. But that's the end of my palette ranking. So this is number 1. I feel like nobody's surprised that Not Normal is number 2. I figure you might be surprised by number 3, but it was hard to rank these. This was probably one of the harder rankings for me, because since they actually do color stories that I like and give me all the colorful dark grungy mattes I need, and like the dual chromes, and you know, just all the fun unique shades that encompass like the makeup looks I like to do, it was like a million times harder to rank this than a lot of the other rankings I have done in the past. So I liked that though, because that meant that they do a good job and they know what consumers want, or consumers like myself want. Because I'm telling y'all, I was sitting up here for like a good 15 minutes like where do I put this one, where do I put this one? And since I had just put this one on my eyes, so I was like, crap, now where do I put this one? It was really hard to rank all these palettes, which like I said, I like, because that means they understand me, and you know, my money is going to someone who, you know, gives me what I want, as opposed to only half of what I want or a fourth of what I want. I just have to like make it work and put other things with it. So I hope you all enjoyed this ranking. Let me know which alien palettes you have, or which is your favorite alien palette out of all the palettes I have. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Remember, you all are diamonds. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Be blessed, girl. Bye.